Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is another paid request, this time for Scott. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, reviews, re-reviews, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. It could be a review, commentary, reaction, re-review, a random topic, what have you. Again, feel free. But this is for Tales from the Crypt Season 2, Episode 1. Dead Right. Now, I can't say I grew up a lot with Tales from the Crypt. I don't know what it is, but those anthology shows, I don't know, just because there's only small amount of time, and I just rather see a full-length version, or a lot of times the endings are trying to be, I don't want to say the same type of endings, but sort of like a moral lesson. I don't know. Maybe I just haven't seen enough of them to form a better opinion. I just didn't grow up with them like other people did. But I didn't mind this one. It's Demi Moore is the star of it, and I'm a big Demi Moore fan. I liked her in Ghost, G.I. Jane, Nothing But Trouble. I do quite like Demi Moore. And she plays this gold digger. And at one point goes this madam who has a crystal ball, but of course she doesn't believe it, but the madam says, "Oh yeah, I could see your future. You're going to get fired today." But then later on, you don't get another job. And Demi Moore's like, "Oh, you're foolish. My boss is even in today. Yeah, whatever." But she goes back to work. Her boss did come back, and she does get fired. And then later on, she just hires a waitress. So she comes back to the madam. "Wow, okay, you seem like the real deal." And so the madam says, "You know what? After your new job, one day you don't meet pretty much this overweight guy, this fat guy, and he's at one point going to come into a lot of money." So of course Demi Moore, being the gold digger that she is, at least her character, she ultimately meets Jeffrey Tambor. Jeffrey Tambor, been a lot of stuff. He was a bit part in City Slickers as Billy Crystal's boss. If you look up Jeffrey Tambor, you see him in a lot of movies. And it's funny, the way he looks like Colin Farrell as the Penguin in the new Batman movie. That's kind of what he looks like. And I thought the makeup was fairly good. He's like overweight with a little bit of, I don't know if scars or what do you want to call it, on his face. And he's just enraptured by Demi Moore. And Demi Moore doesn't want anything to do with him at first. He keeps going like, "I'm a little overweight." And she's like, "Yeah, you're a little overweight, and Hitler's a little anti-Semitic." But ultimately, she decides to say yes because she's hoping that, like the madam says, he'll come into a lot of money. Kate Hodge is in this for a little bit as well as Demi Moore's friend. Kate Hodge, she was Brandon Lee's love interest in Rapid Fire. She was the star of Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. She was in the Hidden 2. And I thought this had a couple interesting directorial bits. For example, when she leaves the madam's place, you see her legs, and without cutting, she leaves and then she enters her job. Now, maybe that's because, well, I guarantee it's because it's a TV show. We have a set here, building right next to it. We're not going to have a ton of sets. So yeah, just building next to it, and then she walks, and then she appears here. That smooth transition, because of that, was a nice touch. Or a bit where Demi Moore and Kate Hodge are thinking about the different ways Jeffrey Tambor will probably die. Once he gets the money, then she'll get the money. And like the visualizing all these things, like he gets hit by a vehicle and all this other stuff. That was a bit of that fun, like, black, ghastly humor that Tales of the Crypt is known for. That bit was pretty funny. And kind of sees a montage of Demi Moore's marriage, where they're in the movie theater and Jeffrey has the 2 tubs of popcorn to himself. washing dishes, all this other stuff, until ultimately she becomes the 1 million. This is spoilers, starting now. Spoilers. The 1 millionth customer in this place, and then she wins $1 million. Now, of course, she should have done this a smarter way, in retrospect, but she comes home and she's like, "You're fat, you're ugly, blah blah blah, I'm going to divorce you." But this guy, of course, is crazy, and he's like, "Well, if no one can have you, if I can't have you, no one can." Ultimately, he stabs her to death. So, the madam was right. He would come into a lot of money, inherit it. It's just, he would inherit it from Demi Moore. And that's the twist. It's not from his uncle or anyone else, it's from his wife, Demi Moore herself. And then he got arrested, and I forgot if he got electrocuted or the gas chamber. I forget which one. And as the madam says at the end, she's never wrong. So it goes that whole moral story, like, don't marry just for money, don't let greed overtake you, don't think about buying all this stuff, otherwise you're going to buy the farm yourself. But Demi Moore, I thought, did a really good job. Again, I'm a sucker for Demi Moore because I'm a fan of her. I'm a fan of her acting. Always been a fan. It's sad that she pretty much retired. Other than, what was that, Charlie's Angels sequel. And then she had like a brief cameo in the new Nicolas Cage film. Like, you rarely see Demi Moore in anything. Which is too bad. But again, Jeffrey Tambor did a good job playing this fat, overweight creep. I'm sure there'd be people like, "That's bullshit. Fuck fat suits. You need to have a real fat guy." Because on a tangent, that's what people are now bitching about to Brendan Fraser. He has a new film called The Whale, which people say he's given a good performance. And now you have the people out there going, "This is, what the hell would that be called? Fatism? This is ridiculous. They should cast a real overweight fat guy to play this role, not Brendan Fraser in a fat suit." First off, you have to find a big fat guy, and second off, he has to be a good actor. Fucking ridiculous. What's next? You can't play an alien unless you're an actual fucking alien? God. People say I bitch too much. But yeah, if you like Demi Moore, or if you like that sort of, black humor of Tales from the Crypt, this was a fun one. Mainly for the two performers. Demi Moore's character, I mean, can't really say that she didn't have it coming. She sure saw the big old warning signs. Yeah, I mean, the production value, like I said, with this type of show, they're not going to have a whole lot. There's not like a lot of gore or anything of that sort. Again, the big special effect is Jeffrey Tambor's makeup. Even like the death scene, Demi Moore, you don't really see anything. Not that I needed to, but for those who are interested. It's just more of a humorous touch of an episode. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.